to the production unit. From the production units, it goes to the distribution points. From the distributors, it goes to the retailers, and finally, it is goes to the customers. So, it's a chain which combines all these entities, and all these entities does their activities from raw materials to the final customers till the final customers is achieved. So yes. Now, if you go to the definitions of different definitions, now there are many supply chain specialists who have given the definitions. One such definition is given by Christopher in 1992. And what he says, supply chain is network of organizations. Supply chain is network of organizations that are involved through upstream and downstream linkages in different process and activity that produce value in the form of products and services in the hands of ultimate customers. Managing these links and delivering the product and service to the customer in a cost-effective way is supply chain management. And Levy in 2022, he also gave another definitions. What do you mean by supply chain? He said that supply chain is a set of approaches. Here it differs from Christopher, utilized to efficiently integrate suppliers, manufacturers, warehouse and stores so that merchandise is produced and distributed in right quantities to the right locations at the right time in order to minimize the system under cost while satisfying the service level requirements. So I will just explain what this definition says. The first definition speaks about the upstreams and downstream linkages. Now, all the companies have upstream linkages and downstream. So upstreams, when you say that materials comes from the suppliers, it's called upstream linkages, and materials goes to the final destination, it calls a downstream linkages. Now, in different processes that produce value for the, now managing these linkages and delivering the product to the customer in a cost-effective way. Ultimate aim of the supply chain management is that the customer should get the product in right time, in right place, and at the right cost also. So Levy in 2022 highlighted that, he told that supply chain is nothing but the integration of different entities like suppliers. Suppliers' work is to supply the raw materials. Manufacturers is concerned with the converting the goods. Warehouse, we store where the finished goods are kept, as well as the stores, so that merchandise is produced and distributed in right quantities. Now, what is the role of logistics? If you go through this, logistics expenditure accounts to a major chunk of expenditure in any organizations. And if you take a developing country like India, 30 to 20% of GDP, expenditure is accounted for logistics. Thus, by improving the efficiency of logistic operations, logistics make an important contribution to the economy as a whole. Yes. Second, logistics support the movements and flow of many economic transactions. It is an important activity in facilitating the sale of virtually all goods and services. So first he said that major expenditure. So why logistics is importance? Why companies should manage logistics? Because logistic expenditure is 30 to 20% of a GDP, and logistics support the movement of flow. That means logistics is very important because it facilitates the movement of goods and services in the economic transactions. And one of the fundamental that logistic add value is creating utility. So what type of utility it creates, we will see in the next slide. Now, there are different types of utilities: form utility, possession utility, time utility, and place utility. What do you mean by form utility? The process of creating the good and services, putting them in proper form. For suppose we have a wood. Now we will put the wood into a form, convert that into a form, and make a chair or a table or make some furniture. So that will come to the use of the customers. As such, the wood may not be in his, say, in the form, original form, may not be so useful to the customers. If it is formed into if it's converted into furniture, then it may give you more customer satisfaction or it will give more customer use. And second is possession utility, the value add to the product, because the customer is able to take the actual position like credit arrangement and loans. Now, today is the when you possession utility means when by adding value to a product, suppose you give credit arrangement and loans, then it will be easy for the customers to take possession of the product. Time utility is the value added by having an item when it is needed. This is most important because if a customer wants a product, then at the time when he need it, you should deliver the product at that time. And also place utility, we should deliver the product and service where it is needed. Suppose I am say in Bhubaneswar, I need the product at Bhubaneswar, that product should be available in Bhubaneswar only. Then only the place utility is created. If the product is not available at the place where I need it, then the product may not be very useful to me. So, talking about logistic utilities, we can have a form utility where we convert the goods and services into a particular form which gives a customer a use. Possession utility by facilitating or adding some value so that possessions can be easy. Time utility is the value added by having an item when it is needed. And place utility by adding value where it is. Now, another concept is value chain concept. The value chain concept may be used to identify and understand the specific source of competitive advantage and how they are related to buyer value. Value is the amount a customer is willing to pay for the product and services provided by an organization. Value added is the difference between customer pays and the cost of the organization providing that product and service. Value is added is the difference between, say, what the customer pays and the cost of organization providing that product or service. So, the value chain concept may be used to identify what is the source of competitive advantage. Now, value chain is important because it gives you, say, competitive advantage to an organization and how they are related to the buyer value. And value, as I told you, is the amount the customer is willing to pay for the product and service provided by an organization. And value added is, suppose the cost of manufacturing a furniture may be say 20,000 and the buyer is paying 25,000. Thereby I am adding value of 5,000 to the organizations. So Porter defines 5 categories of primary activity in competing in any industries. So he told about inbound logistics, activity associated with receiving and storing and disseminating input to the product. So inbound logistics means the logistics which come inside to the organizations. That means receiving. First, when you receive raw materials, we store it, we receive it, store it, and disseminate into the product. And operation is an activity, and it is transformation activities. Operation is a transformation activity where we transfer the input into final product form. And after operation, that comes outbound logistics. That means as activity associated with collecting and storing physical distribution of the product to the buyers. So output logistics means those which is produced, those products which are produced at the operation stage, that must go, say, product to the buyers. That means go to the buyers. And outbound logistic is the activities which is associated with collecting and storing physical distribution of the product to the buyers. And marketing and sales, these are the activities associated with providing a means by which buyers can purchase the product and inducing them to do so much as advertising, promotion, etc. So nowadays, marketing and sales is a part of, say, any, say, primary activity of any companies. Why? Because marketing or sales makes the product awareness, creates awareness about the product, and advertising and promotions also creates awareness about the product. Customers come to know about the product through advertising and promotions. Thereby, they can make a proper decisions about the product. So, and service starts after the products have been sold to the customers. Activity associated with providing service to the enhancer maintain the value of the product, such as installation and repair. Suppose I say sold as a say water filter, or that means the primary work of any company to install it, or say a AC, that is to be install it and repair it, because all consumer durables are subject to say make or subject to fail during its course of time, and the activity or the associated with service is to after sales service. The company should undertake the responsibility of repairing the product whenever the customer wants. Yes. Then another concept is physical distribution management, is concerned with ensuring the product is in the right place and right time. PDM is very important. Why it is important? Because once the product is not at the right place and the right time, then the value is not created. Yes. So PDM is defined as concerned with ensuring the product. That means in a supply chain management or in a logistic management, the product should be at the right time, at the right place. If I want the product today, then the product should be available today in a particular place. If it is available after 5 days, then the utility of the product may not be enhanced. So we will see the components of supply chain management. There are 4 principal components of PDM, namely order processing, stock levels or inventory, warehousing, and transportations. Order processing is the first of the 4 stages in logistic process. If you take the logistic process, order processing, now the efficiency of order processing has a direct impact on the lead time. Orders are received from the sales team through sales department. Many companies establish regular supply routes. They remain relatively stable over a period of time, providing that supply performs satisfactorily. Now, what is order processing? Order generally comes from the sales team. And if the order is particular, if the order is processing is delayed, then it will have direct impact on the lead times. What is the lead time? Lead time is the time difference between when an order is placed and the date on which the order is received. So if order processing is delayed, then order placing will be delayed. Similarly, we will receive the products in late. Orders are received from the sales team through sales department. Many companies establish regular supply routes that remain relatively stable over a period of time. So that means the supply routes from the suppliers should be stable over a period of time, that supplier performs satisfactorily. Inventory is an important or the critical area of PDM, and because stock levels have a direct effect on the levels of service and customer satisfaction. Because I told you that if the company goes out of stock, or as a retail store goes out of stock, then it will lose competitive advantage. Competitive advantage means he will lose his sales to his competitors. Secondly, he will lose his, say, market value. That means he will also lose the, say, reliability, and customers will not believe such retailers who are not able to provide the goods in right time. So, the optimum stock level is the function of a type of market in which the company operates. Yes, for companies can say that they never run out of stocks. If stockouts happen regularly, as I told, the market share will be lost to more efficient competitors. That means those competitors who maintain regular stock will have a larger market share. Companies whose stocks, say, regularly go stockouts. The key lies in ascertaining the reordering point. Reorder point means when this is a level where orders are placed. Carrying states at levels below the reorder point might ultimately mean stock out. That means you are risking or for a stock out position, because if you maintain your inventory below the reorder point, whereas too high stock levels are unnecessary and expensive to maintain. Both are, say, dangerous to the organizations. Carrying inventory below the reorder point may ultimately lead to stock out. That means your goodwill of the organization may be lost. In other words, you will lose your sales, you will lose your competitive advantage. But on the other hand, if you keep too much stock levels, these also are unnecessary, and capitals are piled off. Capitals, your, say, opportunity cost of the capital is very high and expensive to maintain. So inventory or stock management is very crucial of any PDF system. And this PDF system says that optimum stock level is the function of the type of market, and companies should always maintain a balance between the, say, too low, say, inventory and too high inventory. So it will, as far as economic order quantity, should maintain a, say, optimum level of, say, inventory where the dangers can be, say, can be very easily tackled. Then come warehousing. Warehouse means when the finished product are stored, many company functions adequately with their own on-site warehouse from where goods are dispatched direct to the customers. On-site warehouse means where the products are produced and indirectly. But there may be such situations when a farm market goods that are ordered regularly but in small quantities. So it becomes more logical to locate warehouse strategically around the countries. And transportation can be carried out in bulk from the place of manufacture to respective warehouse, where stocks wait ready for further distribution to the customers. This system is used by large retail chains, except that warehouse and transportations are owned and operated by them by logistic experts. So warehousing, many companies have their own on-site warehouse from where goods are dispatched. But when farms market goods that are ordered regularly but in small quantities, it's more logical to have warehouse strategically around the country. And as far as possible, transportation should be carried out in bulk from place of manufacture to the respective warehouse and further distribution to the customer, where stocks wait ready for further distribution to the customer. This system is used by large retail chains. Most of the large retail chains use this system. Yes, PDM has been neglected in the past. This function has been late in adopting the integrated approach. Managers have now become more conscious of potential of PDM and recognize that logistics systems should be designed with total function in mind. A fragmented and disjointed approach to PDM is a principal cause of failure to provide satisfactory service and cause an excessive cost. So, if you go through the literature, PDM has been neglected in the past. It has not been given due importance as it should get. Nowadays, what happens? Managers have become more conscious of the potential of PDM. They have realized that PDM is very important and the logistics system should be designed with total function in mind. And it should be an integrated approach rather than a fragmented or disjointed approach to PDM. Because a fragmented or disjointed approach to PDM is the major cause of, say, failure to provide satisfactory service. Yes, PDM is concerned with ensuring that individual efforts that go to make up the distribution function are optimized so that a common objective is realized. This is called system approach to distribution management. And major feature of PDM is that these functions be integrated. So PDM is concerned that the individual efforts go to make up the distribution are optimized. Suppose the products comes in time to the warehouse, from the warehouse to the stores, from the stores to the retailers, to the customers. So all there are individual efforts, and in a integrated approach, the individual efforts should be optimized so that the common goal can be realized. This is called system approach to distribution management, and which is a major feature of PDM in this function is that it is integrated. Now, in PDM, there are different costs. What are the costs? First one is storage cost. Storage cost means as the number of storage cost is directly related to the number of depots. So storage cost is a function of the number of depots, because there will need for more stock coverage, more storage space, more management, etc. So as you increase our depots, the storage cost will naturally increase, because storage cost have a direct relationship. So storage cost is a direct relationship with the number of depots, because more depot means more stock coverage. You have to keep more stock. More stock means more storage space. You have to you have to build your own warehouse, or it is not possible, you can say take on rent. So more management, you have to keep managers, storekeepers, all the salaries will be high, and delivery costs, this will be the secondary transportation cost of delivering from the depot to the customer. Greater the number of depots, less is the secondary mileage or lesser the delivery cost. So there is an inverse relationship between delivery cost and number of depots, because when delivery depots are more, these depots are located near to the customers. Greater the number of depots, that means the depots go closer to the customers. Thereby, the transportation cost is minimized. The greater the number of depots, the less the secondary mileage or lesser the delivery cost. So, if you compare storage cost and delivery cost, storage cost is directly related with the number of depots, because more depots cost you more storage cost, where delivery cost is inversely related to number of depots. That means if you increase the size of the depots, your delivery cost will decrease. Another is trucking cost. This is the primary transport cost in supply of products in bulk to the depots from the central finished goods, from the central finished good warehouse or production point. As the number of depots increase, this cost will also increase. Trucking cost is the primary transport cost in supply of. That means the trucking cost is the cost through which we transport. So as you increase the number of depots, the trucking cost will also increase. So it's a direct relationship between the trucking cost, has a direct relationship with the number of depots. Inventory cost is the main element. Inventory cost are capital cost, service cost, and risk cost. What is capital cost? The cost of physical stock. Yeah, this is the financing charge, which is current cost of capital to a company. So capital cost increases with the increase in the physical stock. The more the physical stock, the more is the capital stock. And capital stock is nothing but the financing charge, which is the current cost of the capital to a company. And what is service cost? This is the cost of stock of management and insurance cost. That means when you stock materials in a particular warehouse or store, there is a chance of pilferage, there is a chance of theft. So this, against this all uncertainties, the company go to insurance company, pay some premium and insure their product. In case of any eventualities, they can be compensated. So if you see this, the stocks or depots, the service cost also increases with the number of depots. And risk cost, which occurs through pilferage, deterioration of stock, damage, stock obsolescence. So if you keep a inventory for a long period of time, say 5 years or 10 years, or it become obsolete, or it sometimes is the technology changes, the inventories may not be suitable for, say, use. And sometimes what happen, natural calamities may happen. So there may be some damage, there may be pilferage, there may be stock theft. So all these are risk costs involved with your inventories. So as I increase the size of the depot, the risk cost also increases accordingly. That means more depots, there is a more say chance of pilferage, there is more chance of deterioration of stock, there is more chance of damage, there is more chance of stock obsolescence. So inventory cost is related to your the inventory cost, capital cost, service cost and risk cost is also related to your number of depots. And system cost, this cost represents a variety of information or communication requirements ranging from order processing to the load assembly list. The top line on this graph shows the overall distribution cost in relation to the number of depots. Yes. Then we'll discuss the principles of supply chain. This supply chain consists of many principles, and most important principle of supply chain that is demand driven. That means supply chain exists not merely because there is something to supply, but it exists because there exists a definite demand. That means he said that the first why a supply chain exists, because supply chain exists because a definite demand. Supply chain exists not merely because there is something to supply. So if I say there is no demand, then there would have been no supply chain. If a company has no demand, so supply chain. So second is about chain approach. Why it is chain approach? In a supply chain, it is not the function of any single individual. Is not getting, individual links may be performing well, but if the entire chain is not getting the strength, ultimately is a loss to the chain as a whole. So it is not the strongest link of the chain which decides the strength of the chain. It is the weakest link which decides the strength of a chain. So a chain is only as strong as the weakest link. The concept is about not link optimization but chain optimization. Very important thing. The second is this chain approach. Why? I will give you an example. In supply chain, we find different entities like suppliers, say manufacturers, from distributors, retailers, and customers. Now, the supply chain gets strength from each of these individual links. Your supplier is very good, your manufacturer is very good, but the distributor is not doing the work properly. That means we cannot say that the supply chain is best because you have a best supplier, best manufacturing, say, say, facilities, but we have the very weakest link here is that means the distributor, which is not able to say distribute the goods in time and the right place to the customers. So the point to be highlighted here is that the supply chain not gets its strength from the strongest link, rather it gets from the weakest link, which decide the strength of the chain is the weakest link, which decide the strength of a chain. We may have 2-3 very good say chains, but if you have one weakest chain, then the supply chain may not be effective. So the second principle is said is not about link optimization but chain optimization. That means the chain should work in an optimized manner rather than the individual links should work in optimized. So the concept is not the link optimization but chain optimization. Yes. The third principle of supply chain is the linkage between links. The principle emphasizes the relation and coordination between the links. Yes. The extent and intensity of the relationship are important factors defining the relationship between the link. So the third principle of supply chain is between linkage between links. That means there are different, say, entities in a supply chain, and we have to emphasize the relation and coordination between the links. That means suppliers should give right time raw material to the manufacturing unit. Manufacturing unit should produce the goods in right time and distribute to the warehouse or the distributors. Distributors should give in right time to the retailers, and ultimately the consumer should get right kind of goods and at the right time from the retailers. So extent and intensity of the important factors. The fourth principle of supply chain is smoothness of the flow. That is physical, financial information in the chain. As an analogy, what matters most is the smoothness of the fluid flow in the pipe as compared to the size of the pipe. Yes, the matter is the smoothness of the fluid flow in the pipe as compared to the. So the fourth principle that there should be smoothness of the physical means the goods and services. Financial means the money. Suppose the supplier gives the goods and to the manufacturer should pay in time to the suppliers. Manufacturers gives the goods to the distributors. Distributors should pay in time to the manufacturers. Distributors gives physical goods to the retailers. Retailers should pay in time, and retailers give the physical product to the buyers or the ultimate customers. The customers should pay the goods in financial or the money in time to the retailer, so that there should be a smoothness of the flow. And the smoothness also depends on the information that goes between the links, in the chain. If the information is not proper, if information is not properly disseminated, then the supply chain management may not be effective. So fourth principle is about the smoothness of the flow. The fifth principle is about the optimizing of the resources in the supply chain in the process of delivering goods and services to end consumers, while simultaneously keeping customer satisfaction objective achieved in most effective and efficient way. So the fifth principle speaks about the optimization of the resources in supply chain. Yes. How does the supply chain work? The supply chain management is viewed as a system that links an enterprise with its customer and suppliers. Information flows from and about the customer in the form of forecast and orders to both the enterprises and suppliers. This information is refined through planning into specific manufacturing and purchasing objectives. As materials and products are purchased, a value-added inventory flow is initiated, which ultimately result in ownership transfer of finished product to the customers. So the gist of this is this supply chain is viewed as a system that links enterprise with its customers and suppliers. Yes. And supply chain management is integrated option. Supply chain is an integrated approach that is highly interactive and complex and require simultaneous consideration of many trade-offs. SCM is the management of all key business processes across a number of supply chains. Successful SCM requires change from managing individual function to integrating activities into key supply chain process. So SCM is an integrated approach and management of all key business across number of supply chains. Yes. Another important concept is customer relationship management. Customer relationship management. This is the process to identify the key customers. With customers moving to center stage, more companies begin to treat customers as value independent entity. Now, I can say that Peter Drucker once told customers are the king. Why they are called king nowadays? They can, if they want, they can ruin a company and they make a company successful. So this customer relationship management has become very important because understanding the importance of the customers in a competitive world. So this is the process to identify the key customer. Who are the key customers? With customer moving to the center stage, that means customers are becoming more and more important. So companies have begun to treat customers as value independent entity. Company no longer view sales as selling of their product, but selling of relationship, solution, support and care. Nowadays, companies no longer interested in, say, value sales as they are selling of their product, but selling of relationship. How you are selling your relationship, how you are giving solution to your problem of your customers, how you are supporting them, how you are caring them. So customer relation team develop and implement partnering program with key customers. So I can say that customer relationship management is a strategic options for the organization to develop a long-term relationship with the customers. That means product and service agreements specifying the level of performance are established with these key customers. That means this is the process to identify the key customers. Who are the key customers for you? With customers moving to the center stage, that means customers becoming more important nowadays. Companies have tried to treat customers as a value independent entity. That means selling, they view sales as a selling of their products, but as selling of relationship, solution and support of care. Customer service management, say, there are, say, components of, say, service, say, CRM. The first component is customer service management. Increase and intense competition all around have made customer service as the key differentiator in marketing system. Customer service provides only, say, customer informations. It provides the customers with real-time information on promised shipping date and product availability. Customer service is a valuable business activity governing both resource and top management attention. Customer service being offered in many forms such as post-warranty support, fast repair, speedy response to the service call from customer, easy availability of spare, qualified component and customer-friendly technicians. So customer service management has become very, very important because of the increase in intense competitions. And one company differentiates from another company on the basis of customer service. Yes. And what the customer service provides, it provides the real-time informations on promised shipping date, where the manufacturer has promised or the warehouse has promised, and whether the product availability or not. Yes, customer service is a valuable business activity governing both resources and top management extension. Customer service is being offered in many forms. Nowadays you will find warranty support. A company gives warranty support, fast repairs. Now there are different companies have created apps. Through apps you can contact the after sales, speedy response to your service calls from the customers, and easy availability if a spare parts are available in the local market, and the person who comes for giving you the repairing work, this may be qualified components and customer friendly. The second component is demand management. Yes, customer demand is always in the form of irregular and order pattern in the last source of variability. So customer demand is dynamic in nature. Customer demand is dynamic in nature. That means it is always regular. That means it is always there is a variability. Given this variability, customer ordering, demand management is key to an effective SCM process. Now, many of the companies are now resorting to are moving from push system, they are moving to a pull system. In such case, predicting on is the key driver on which all types of supply will depend. The demand management process must balance the customer requirements with supply capabilities. A good demand management system uses point of sales and key customer data to reduce logistic and supply chain management. That means demand management process must balance the customer requirement, what the customers require and what the firm can supply. And a good demand management system uses the point of sales and key customer data to reduce logistic and supply chain management. Yes. The third one is customer order fulfillment. The key to effective SCM is to achieve high order fill rate. Now, what is order fill rate? Order fill rate is the percentage of order fulfilled before or on the customer need date. If the percentage is very high, then I say that the supply chain is very effective. Suppose in a company, the order fill rate percentage is 90%. That means 90% of the time, the product is delivered on time or before the time. Performing the order fulfillment process effectively requires integration of firms, manufacturing, distribution, and transporting plants. So, order fulfillment only be effective not by individual actions, but will by integrated actions of the manufacturers, distributors, and transporters. Yes. Then logistics and product life cycle. Product life cycle is a key marketing concept that affects the relationship between logistics and marketing. For example, a PLC has different stages: introduction stage, growth stage, maturity stage, and decline stage. And in different stages, the logistics support is required by the marketing. In introduction and growth stage, timely cost-effective fulfillment order is major requirement, because when you are introducing a product, the timely cost fulfillment of order is a major requirement so that the product will be accepted by the customers. In the growth stage, what happened? In the growth stage, the company is growing, and introduction stage, the major challenge before the supply chain management is to fulfill the customer orders on time so that the goods and services will be accepted by the customers. But later on, as the sales slows down, and products moves into the maturity and declining stage, the company changes to trimming cost as the product face steep price competition and consequent pressure on margins. Therefore, there is a need for logistic manager to understand what marketing is trying to achieve and with which product and what appropriate level of logistic support is required. So here there is in the introduction and growth stage, here say the order is a major cost of effective fulfillment is a major requirement where in during the slowdown stage or maturity stage, the trimming cost is a alternative before the supply chain manager. Yes. Now, areas of logistic and marketing interaction. Now, areas of logistic and marketing interaction is today's competitive environment. Organizations are utilizing the benefits of their established logistic and marketing interference to be competitive, not in terms of product and price, but also logistics services tailored to meet individual customer needs. The organizations are able to differentiate themselves from their competitors by offering a total service with logistic forming an essential part of the total value chain. Yes. Now, take an example of FMCG like say Procter and Gamble and Hindustan Lever. Both have the products, both have qualitative products, both have price. But if the products are not available in a retail shop, I find there is more of say Procter and Gamble product where we don't find the product of Hindustan Lever. Now, the company is not to be blamed here. The company is not to be blamed here because both are multinational company. Who is to be blamed? The supply chain management of the respective companies are to be blamed. Now, I say that when the products of say Procter and Gamble is available in the retail store, when I need, I say that the SCM of say Procter and Gamble is performing efficiently, whereas the SCM of say Hindustan Lever is not performing as par with the say Procter and Gamble. Therefore, he said that the organizations are able to differentiate themselves by their competitors by offering total service with logistic form an essential part of the total. What is total service here? Good quality product at a competitive price, after sales service is along with that, say logistic forming an essential part of the total value chain. That means the goods should be say available in right time at the right place. Now, this can be a major product design, this can be a major effect on warehouse and transportation. Pricing, this is the means by which logistics service customer demand affects the overall cost of the product and in turn organization's pricing policy. Market and sales forecast. Marketing forecast will largely dictate the level of logistic resources and need to move product to these customers. And customer service policies. The marketing opts to offer a very responsive level of service to the customers. Logistic resources in the form of facilities and inventory will need to be very considerable. Yes. Now, this is one of the greatest area of contentions. Now, we see that number of and location of this is one of the greatest area of contentions can only be satisfactorily resolved with the marketing and logistic develop the policy jointly. Inventory policy, this is another area of contention. Decisions have a significant bearing on the operation cost and extent to which desired level of customer service are achieved. It is another key area where policy should be jointly developed by the marketing and so the policy should to maintain an optimum inventory. If too much inventory is a concern, too less inventory is also a concern. Order processing. Responsibility for who receive customer orders and speed the efficiency and speed and efficiency with which they are processed has a major impact on the operation cost and customer perception of the service level. This is another area where jointly policy making is preferable. That means when you make a order processing policy, it should be the joint responsibility of the marketing and operations people. Channels of distribution. So what type of channels you will decides. Decision to deliver direct to the customers or through intermediaries will largely influence the level of logistic resources required. Say a channel change, so too will the resources required. Marketing should definitely concern with logistic when they making channel decisions. So what type of channels a market will decides? So that will depends on your say marketing department. Yes. Now before I end, I will add something which is say very important nowadays. The important thing is what is the say CRM interface with manufacturing. So there is a definite interface between logistics and manufacturing. This interface is very crucial. This interface is crucial for efficient supply chain management. It involves coordination of production schedules and inventory levels and transportation to ensure seamless operations and timely delivery. There are different components of this interface. There is the interface between logistic and manufacturing. First one is demand forecasting. Both logistic and manufacturing need accurate demand forecasting to plan production schedule and optimize inventory levels. So when you have an interface between logistics and manufacturing, we just discussed the difference between say interface between say logistics and marketing. Now discussing the relation between logistic and manufacturing. Second one is production planning and scheduling. Manufacturing plans production based on demand forecast to plan production schedules and optimize inventory levels. Third one is inventory management. Logistic and manufacturing must collaborate on inventory levels. Real-time tracking helps to prevent stockouts or overstock situations. That means inventory management is very crucial, and logistic and manufacturing must collaborate, must work with on inventory level. Real-time tracking helps to prevent stockouts. So we should say track on real time. That means to prevent stockouts and overstock. And communication and information sharing. Regular communication and data sharing between manufacturing and logistics team are essential because this includes order status, production updates, transportation details. Then another component is technology integration, that employing integrated software systems such as ERP to ensure seamless flow of informations. That means nowadays companies are adopting more or less say technology, employing integrated software systems, and one of the system is ERP to ensure seamless flow of informations. Lead time management, understanding and managing lead time is crucial for manufacturing. Lead time impact when logistics need to be prepared for transportations and delivery. So lead time management is very important. So understanding and managing lead time is crucial. Manufacturing lead times impact when logistics Then reverse logistic is an important concept. The interface involves. So why reverse logistics occurs? Because there are sometimes the products may be defectives, the products may be sometimes returned, and this is the interface involved managing returns and handling defective products. So to talk about the interface between logistics and manufacturing, there is a crucial relationship for effective supply chains, and there are a lot of components: demand forecasting, production planning, and inventory communication. Thank you. We'll meet in the next session tomorrow. Sorry.